Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. Y'all, I have an amazing, I'm not going to call him a guest, an amazing family member wait a minute, just in. Yep, he's been adopted. The judge just signed, the judge just signed the paperwork. He's been officially adopted into the Women Are Worthy Network. So let me tell you a little story before I actually start this. So, most of you guys know we're binging on shows, we're watching shows. So my girlfriend calls me. She says, "Come on over, Jackie." And I'm like, "What do you want?" So go over to her house and she says, "You got to watch this show. You got to watch this show." I'm like, watching another show is like another hole in my head. What? So she tells me it's OWN. And I'm like, okay, what are the outfits? Do the outfits look good? Is the makeup? Is what's going on? I didn't even ask her about this series. So she says, "You know what? It's called Kings of Napa." I said, "Kings of Napa? I kind of like that name." She's like, "I want you to watch this. I want you to shut up." Yeah, she told me to shut up. "I want you to shut up and I want you to sit down and watch this series." So I'm watching it and I'm like, I want more. And because I'm very critical about things like that. So she said, "Jackie, you gotta, it's really, really good." And I said, "I know it's good. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Make sure you follow Mr. Rance Nix. Am I saying it correctly? Rance,
Yep.
like dance, Rance Nix.
Rans
I
like
need you to
dance.
follow him. I need you to follow him." So let me continue with my story time. I'm taking up his interview, but I gotta set it here. So I'm watching it and I'm watching all the actors and I'm like, "Yo, who was this dude?" And this whole week, I've been calling him, not his first name, I've been calling him Dana. Okay. When I've been talking to my friends, not giving his full name, his real name. So I'm watching, I'm like, "Yo, dude can act. I'm loving this." When I tell y'all, you gotta watch Kings of Napa. This guy knows, he is phenomenal. And y'all know how I be. He can act, y'all. He can act. So without further ado, the Women Are Worthy Network is so proud and so honored to have my new favorite actor right now. Okay, Tyler, Ava DuVernay, Issa Rae, Denzel, The Rock. Y'all need to call him, okay? Because I'm telling you, this guy is so versatile. And because y'all know I'm all about being transparent, because this is a platform, it's my platform, and I'm all about supporting people in their craft and what they're doing. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm like, what night does it come on again? I was actually going through some issues. I think I was going through like not a crackhead, but like, a Napa head. That's what I'm going to call myself, a Napa head. So without further ado, we want to introduce and welcome the one and only Mr. Rance Nix. How are you?
Hey, thank you for that intro and for having me on the Women Are Worthy Network. Hey, I'm well. Thank you.
I don't know where to start. You're a Southerner, Georgia Bulldog.
Yes,
Yes.
go dogs, national champs, baby.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because when I tell you, I feel like fanning out. I got to calm down a little because it's about you. It's not about me. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Atlanta. I grew up in East Lake. Went to Midtown High School, formerly known as Grady High School. Then went to the University of Georgia. There at the University of Georgia, I caught the acting and entertainment bug. I was hosting pretty much every philanthropy event on campus by senior year. I did a couple rap videos for the football team that still exist on YouTube and just made a name for myself while in Athens. And then when I graduated, I decided, okay, I want to pursue this full time. Gratefully, my parents supported my dreams and allowed me to bop back home to Atlanta, live at home for a little bit, and I cut my teeth in Atlanta in 2014 after I graduated from the University of Georgia. That's really kind of where I got my feet wet. I started going to casting workshops, figuring out how the business works, what I need to do, how to get my acting profile set up, and so on and so forth. And then I booked the play Las Meninas by the acclaimed playwright Miss Lynn Nottage in New York City the summer of 2015. That brought me to New York City. And then I said, okay, cool. Well, if I go to New York City, I want to parlay that play into another opportunity and not just do the play and then go back to Atlanta. So booked another play, Anansi Spider. Then I booked this indie film, Baby Frankenstein. Then I signed a lease on my first apartment in New York City. Big boy moves. Then I got a part-time job at Warby Parker, and I was settled and locked into New York City for the long haul, which when I first moved to New York, it was twofold. One, I wanted to book more work after the play Las Meninas, but at the same time, in my mind, I just wanted to pop off as soon as possible and then go back to Atlanta because New York was too expensive, the food is too expensive, and the people aren't nice. And I miss.
Wait. Did you say that people aren't nice?
Well, at the time,
Okay.
It was a big adjustment because Southern hospitality is huge for me, and so bopping to a place like New York City, it takes some getting used to. Just the directness, there's just a lack of banter beforehand. It's just get to the point, get with it, let's go. And so, yeah, my thought is, I'm gonna just pop off and get famous and then go back to Atlanta. But acting and pursuing entertainment and artistic endeavors takes a lot longer than you might think, which is what happened. But I found my community. I got plugged into a church up here, Warby Parker. My homies at Warby Parker, some of my best friends, just started to figure it out and get comfortable. I ended up leaving New York for a little bit to go do another play that ended up getting canceled. So I was kind of back. And then I came back, started to do real estate to fund the acting dream, and did that for about 4 years. And then most recently started acting again, or started auditioning a lot the beginning of 2021. And then I was auditioning for several like roles, specifically looking for a black little person, and I wasn't booking anything. I'm like, what the heck? I thought I was the only one, but I guess there are other black little people actors out there. And then God's plan, Kings of Napa came along. I auditioned and I booked it. Now I'm on the Kings of Napa, enjoying the show rollout. We shot last summer, 2021, and here we are at the beginning of 2022. And it's been a confluence of seasons. Just I don't do real estate anymore. Quit my day job. I act full time now. I'm enjoying the show rollout. My acting profile is growing, and people are enjoying the show, which is super, super dope. So that is the journey in a nutshell.
Well, we love you. And let me tell y'all, okay, because I had 10 things about him, that I read about, that he's a Southerner, he's a theater actor, he's funny, y'all, he's bold. We're going to talk about how bold, what he did to get that. He graduated from the University of Georgia, Bulldog, yeah, go Bulldog. He's a realtor. This is what I added. He has confidence. And when I tell y'all, when you watch that show, homie got swag, swagalicious. And it's not even just on the show, but just because I've been kind of stalking him, y'all. And he has swag, but more importantly, he also not just cares about other people, he is doggone talented. You are so talented. Yo, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. It means a lot.
So, question. What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
My 16-year-old self. So I'm, I'm backtracking.
Right.
Like, what was going on when I was 16?
Right.
I think I'd tell my 16-year-old self to just stay in your lane. Don't get lost in the sauce. Continue to be confident in who you are, but also know that even with your confidence and your success and the way in which you present yourself to other people to prove that, you are a force to be reckoned with, continue to believe in yourself, but again, not get lost in the sauce. Because even when you are confident and fun and outgoing and work hard and are excellent, there are still people that will have perceptions about you that you can't control. And those perceptions may or may not lead to the results and perceptions that I would desire. So that's okay. That's life, but don't let that affect you too much. Stay patient, stay focused, keep trusting God, and having faith. I think that's something that I would tell myself. And of course, this is a journey. 16-year-old self that will be forever. You know, I don't know if there'll ever be a time where, you know, you Rance, 16-year-old Rance, will not face challenges when it comes to how people perceive you.
What's the most common misconception that people have about you?
Uh, This is I've never thought about this question.
Look, we bring it on this show. We bring
Yeah,
it.
I think.
And it may not be true. Again, it's a misconception that
Maybe. That's a hard one. I think that like my life might be a little harder than my life of course has challenges, but I think what I've encountered is people maybe assume that my life is even harder than it is, and I have to just tell people like, no, it's fine. Like I can handle my life. I'm gratefully like I'm an independent guy, and while I face challenges, my life's not impossible.
right. Right. I like that. Well, you face it's not, and I think we all face challenges. If you think about that, we
Totally.
all have something. So, and I want people to understand that. So, no matter what you're facing, you can always overcome as long as you have, if you're a spiritual person and you have the right tribe supporting you, then you can face anything as long as you have the right people behind you. So, the fact that you're now, kings of Napa, and again, this is just, I'm gonna be honest with you, Rance. When I see you on the show, I don't see nobody else. And I see, because the stuff that comes out of your mouth be off the chain. So the person who writes the scripts, phenomenal, phenomenal. So I'm here to give kudos to the producer, the director, everyone on the show, even crafts, and I don't know who the crafts people are, but I'm really here to give kudos to them because it's amazing to see the melanin. It's amazing to see from the chocolate to the caramel, mocha, and you rarely see that. You rarely see the rays of the color, the melanin, the clothes. But more importantly, when I say that the script has grit to it, I'm getting all commission over here. It just makes sense. It's like it could be a book. And I can't remember the last time I've been this excited about a series. I'm dead serious because this
we
is
love that.
something I want this to go maybe 9-10 seasons. You guys we need something like this. So that's why I'm asking you, everyone out there, even if you're watching the replay, please, if you're going to be binging Games of Thrones and all that kind of stuff, you can binge this. I'm telling you, y'all going to like it. I'm telling you. So where do you see yourself? No, before I ask you that question, what advice would you give someone who's thinking about getting in the business or they're in the business and they want to give up?
For people who want to get in the business, it's not for the faint of heart. And you gotta want it. You gotta want to act and want to do the craft. And I can always tell when people go, hey, like I'm thinking about being an actor. And are you thinking about acting or are you thinking about being famous? And it's okay to desire to be famous because that's fun too, and there are fun perks to being well known. But if that's all you want, you're not gonna achieve your dream of becoming an actor or an actress or really any creative endeavor that you're trying to pursue. And then for people pursuing it that are continuing to try to make their break and make it happen. One, keep the vision. Just that's the hardest part is I think that I realized as I was getting older. I'm 30 now, so as I was getting older and I kind of lose just naturally. You lose a little bit of grit. You lose a little bit of that edge that you had and that innocence that you had in your early 20s, where can't tell me nothing and I'm broke, but I don't even realize how broke I am because I'm just having fun out here, just pursuing the dreams. But as you get older, you want nicer things. You don't want to live with roommates. Your friends are getting married. Your friends are having kids. Your friends are buying houses. All of these things are happening around you, and life responsibility and adulthood just starts to kind of also be a desire of yours, even more so than in, say, your 20s. So keeping the vision is so important because I think even for me, I was doing real estate, and for a minute I had to take a step back from acting for a little bit because the job of real estate just requires all your time and energy. But after a while, I was kind of just spending pretty much all my time doing real estate. And I remember a mentor of mine, they reminded me, they said, "You didn't come to New York to do real estate. You're not a real estate agent." And I said, "Yeah, you're right. And I kind of lost a little bit of the edge that I had when I first moved to New York. So keeping the vision is one. Another thing, being excellent in everything that you do, everything, whether that be your day job that you want to quit because you really want to act full time, whether that be the rinky-dink short film that'll never see the light of day because it's super shoddy and unorganized and just not a great project, or just interacting with people, whatever it may be, being excellent because you never know who's watching and you never know who you're going to meet, and it will carry you so much further just being excellent. I can't tell you how many times I've been on sets or just done work and people go, "Oh my gosh, Rance, you were on time. You did what we asked. You never complained. I say, so I did my job." It's crazy. Mediocrity is the standard, apparently. So if you're excellent, it will show and it will do wonders for you. And consistency as well. Consistency, just showing up every day, even when you're not seeing the fruit, because you never know when the fruit is gonna pop up. So you just have to just keep going, keep watering, keep tending, keep doing all the things, and pivoting along the way, making adjustments. That's a lot. I know this is a lot, but making adjustments as well, because a lot of people ask me, "Well, how long are you going to keep pursuing acting?" I said, "Well, I'm not stupid. I'm pretty self-aware to know if I'm making progress or not. And from what I perceive, I'm making progress. But had I not been making progress, or if things weren't quite working out the way that I wanted them to, I'd figure out a pivot. I'd figure out, okay, what do I need to change? What do I need to do to continue making progress?" And that pivot for some people might be something totally different. You might pivot and go, "Oh, I'm a better director," or, "Oh, I'm a producer. I like producing." I have actor friends that are like, "No, I don't want to act anymore, but I'll produce." So just doing all those things, among many, but those are some that stand out for the people that are thinking about pursuing acting or pursuing any of their dreams at any point, or just looking for a job in general.
Well, I have a Chris B on here, and he told me to ask.
What's up, Chris?
He says you still owe him rent. He said,
"I don't know about that, Chris. I don't know."
He told me to ask you if you met Isaiah Whitlock.
Yeah, I did. He came to set. He was in town for about a week, and I've also met him when we were doing press as well. So we've interacted and engaged with each other. Great guy. It's pretty surreal to be working with a legend of his caliber, and it was an honor. He's a real great guy.
How do you know Chris?
Chris B?
Yeah, Bennett.
I'm not sure. It just says Chris B.
Yeah, because I asked him, I said, "How does he know you?" So I guess he's going to type in now or whatever, because we get a lot of people after the show.
Yeah.
And he's definitely one of those that'll jump on right away. So what movie that has been filmed that if they were going to do a reboot, what movie would you like to see yourself in? It doesn't matter if it's a Caucasian cast or whatever. What movie and what TV series? So I'm going to give you two.
Hold on, let me look at my.
See, I love when I ask questions and people have to think. That's why I don't like to do pre-questions because I
Yeah,
don't like
this
it.
is this is good. This is good.
Ooh,
Hold
thank
on
you.
one second.
No problem.
I'm
Take your
gonna pull up
time.
my cheat sheet on my shows that I've been watching and that I enjoy and so on and so forth. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Sometimes because it's hard to keep tabs. Yep. Yeah. Ooh.
Hello, Miss
So
Elders. How you doing?
I think TV show. I love to be on Master of None, the show on Netflix with Aziz Ansari. I love the lightheartedness of the show. It's based in New York City, and it's just about a guy and his friends and him trying to navigate New York City as a single 30-something-year-old. And he's also an actor, and I love that show, and I rewatch it every year. A movie, um, it's hard to say a movie, but I love to be in a rom com. I love
Mm,
love. I love romance, and I love to get the girl. Maybe Set It Up. It's also on Netflix. That was
okay.
another one I enjoyed. That was pretty cool. Also, I'm hesitant to say like movies because I feel like the movies that I enjoy are like so iconic already that
Right,
it's like I don't
right.
even want to. I want to make my own movies and
And
be my
okay,
own.
so good. So you're looking into directing, right? For longevity, is that something that you want to do?
Uh, maybe not yet. Right now, I'm just trying to get acting work.
Right. Okay.
But of course, later on, maybe direct episodes of television, maybe direct a movie as well. I'm fresh. I think that's just later on down the career. I will
Right.
say, I think I'm a very type A organized individual. So as an actor, when I'm on set and I'm looking around and thinking, this is so unorganized and I don't understand why this is the way it is. That's when I get reminded maybe you should produce. You sound like a producer because I'm very organized and
Yeah.
regimented and I know how to be efficient and also communicate well. So I feel like at the very least some production, some producing, maybe directing. Who knows? We'll see. I'm open to it all.
Right. And that's good that you're because you want to be diverse. You want to be able to do a lot of things. So I know you want to, get a lot of things under your belt and things like that. Denzel, if you're watching, I'm telling you, don't miss
Yeah.
out on this. Okay. The Rock,
Yeah.
don't miss out on this. Okay.
Right.
Tyler, don't miss out.
Don't sleep.
I'm telling you. What's your favorite genre of music?
My favorite genre of music, probably hip hop. I mean,
Okay.
Spotify Wrapped is usually Drake and Kanye. Every year, it's always Drake and Kanye. There's like the
So
top two.
who's your old favorite rapper? Like someone from, other than
Mm-hmm.
Drake and Kanye. Who would you better say the right, you better get the right answer. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if he's considered old. I'm gonna maybe get myself in trouble. I listen to a lot of new school,
Okay.
so I don't know if I would consider Jay-Z like old,
Right, right.
but I would say he's like the
Right.
elder statesman as far as like
Right.
the rap that I listen to.
Mhm.
So probably Jay-Z. I'm a creature of habit. I like what I like the rap that I listen to. I think don't quote me as the music guy.
It's all good. I mean, I wanted to know because I'm a DMX fan. Anything
Yeah,
from New York because again, I'm from New York, so I love all my New York folks. So
of
that's
course.
just me throwing a little Tupac, but the DMX, the Biggies, and stuff. That's just who I like.
Totally.
So, where do you see yourself 3 years from now?
Ooh, 3 years from now. I think 3 years from now, That's what be 30. 3 years from now, I see myself like I'm really stepping into the next level of my career. Um, I'm starting to do campaigns. Maybe that Met Gala invite, that's on my goal and
I
dream
know,
list to
right?
get invited to the Met Gala. So I
Mhm.
think at that point in 3 years, I'm the Kings of Napa is doing very well. We'd be in our third, maybe fourth season. I've done a movie or two, and I'm cooking. I'm cooking with grease at that point, and it's really only up from there. So I think at that point, I'm really doing my thing, and um, yeah, the world knows Rance Nix.
And that's what we need. But also, I forgot to mention Lifetime. Reach out
Yeah,
because once you can get some of that Lifetime money, you set. Okay.
right. Somebody told me, a couple people told me on set, they were like, "Yeah, do a Hallmark movie, a Lifetime movie, you get
Yes.
paid, and it's like 2 weeks
Yes.
of work."
Because
So
I mean,
at some point, I love to do. I told my reps, I said, "I love to do a Hallmark movie. I love like a Hallmark Christmas movie. I don't mind." And they were like, "Maybe just a little bit later in your career,"
yeah,
but
because once you do
uh,
that, you see, part one, part two, part three. Vivica Fox, you do a lot of producing. Reach out.
yeah,
Okay. You
yeah,
do a lot of producing. I think she's on, yeah, she's doing Lifetime too. So, and she's constantly, looking for people. Um, it's just amazing because, okay, let's get back to the series here because this is
sure,
really why I want you on the show because I
yeah.
got issues with you.
Okay, when you
I,
got issues with Dana, you don't got issues with
you're
me.
right with Dana. And the thing is, you're acting, when you found out that, you were oops baby, with your acting, it's like, it's so believable. And your wife, oh my God, y'all make a good couple. I can't wait to see this baby. Y'all make such a good couple, the whole family. And the way you talk, I just love the banter between you and the lady that plays your sister, who is the CEO of the Napa of the company.
Yeah,
I
Ebony
love the banter.
Noel.
Yes, I love the banter between you two. So here's a question: how do you memorize your lines? You have a lot. How do you do that?
Yeah, so
I'm
a
asking
few
for
a
me.
few ways, a few ways. Well, one, gratefully, I think this first season of the Kings of Napa was a challenge for me, but I wasn't overwhelmed. So I'm very grateful that I wasn't overwhelmed with the dialogue. Also, shout out to Ebony, Ebony Noel, Karen LeBlanc, and Devika Parikh because episode 6 beasts. They had so much dialogue, and I was so impressed by their work, and they inspired me and motivated me to make sure that I was on top of my game when I was on set because they kill it in episode 6 and the whole season.
Mhm.
So as far as to answer your question, how do I memorize my lines? Well, as much as possible, you have the schedule blocked out. So you kind of know what's coming. You know what scenes you're going to do each day. And
Mhm.
so at the beginning of it, at the top of the week, I will look at the schedule that Sunday before the week starts and go through each scene and take notes, extrapolate based off of where we are because we shoot out of order. So I try to extrapolate based off of what we've shot already to get the vibe of the scenes and so on and so forth. And I get it in my system, try to memorize as much as I can, just the brush strokes. That's Sunday. So I'm not coming into it cold. And then Monday, I have my call time. Say my call time is at 10. I would always get there early. So if my call time is at 10, when your call time is at 10, you're off to the races. So typically I would get there around 9 and again study my lines and get it really in my system. And at that point, once the day starts, you have a lot of downtime.
Mm.
So my call time might be at 10. I can study my lines in the makeup chair. I can study my lines in the hair chair. I can run my lines with some of the other actors. And then we go rehearse and we block the scene 3-ish times. And so by that point, it's been, I mean, 9 o'clock. I get to set, and by the time we start shooting, it might be close to 11. It's been almost 2 hours. And then you shoot the wides. So the wides are the wide angle shots where the camera's far away. That's just the establishing shot. So the wide angle shots is where you get your mess ups in, because very rarely does the wide shot get used for more than just the establishing shot. So by the time you get to your close ups, you've had enough reps to where you should be good, and you should be good. So that's kind of how you do it. And then for the next scene, if I haven't had a chance to look at it or I need to massage that scene more, you're running that scene in between takes of the first scene. And then you also have time again when you wrap the first scene of the day, you go into the second scene. Typically, we block the second scene right away because we're in a rush. So it'll go, okay, cool. We're finished with scene one. All right, we're going to go walk next door to the kitchen from the living room and immediately block scene two. And so you'll have the script, and again, you run it. And then typically there was a break because they have to set the cameras up. They have to move the cameras from the other room into the new room. And then the actors from the previous scene have to go change their clothes. So there's a lot of hurry up and wait. And by the time you get to actually shooting the scene, you've had a pretty good amount of time to learn the lines. It is a challenge. It's a challenge learning the lines and also staying energized and just staying on and staying present, because also there's just a lot of breaks. You have a lot of breaks, especially when in this show there's a lot of women in the show and in the ensemble, and from one scene to the next they would have complete outfit changes and complete hairstyle changes. And so I always knew if it was me, my sister, my mom, and like one of my aunties, and then another scene with my sister, my mom, and my aunties, I'm gonna be sitting on ice for about an hour because I could just go change into my next suit. They would have to change into the whole new outfit, sometimes a wig change, and it would be a whole thing. And so I knew, okay, bet I got time. And so you have time, but it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a skill that can be or a muscle that can be worked and honed in over time. And like I said, I think the Kings of Napa this season was the perfect amount of dialogue to be a challenge, but also be doable for me as an actor that's a little bit fresher compared to some of the veterans on this cast.
Well, I want you to know that I am so impressed by you. You are definitely a role model, whether you want to take that or not, because I'm telling you, when I say I've been stalking you, you have no idea, bro. So if but I've been doing it well. So if you have police who are, or security guards, just call them off of me. I'm the one who's been stalking you. You are just a breath of fresh air. You are so incredibly nice and giving. So I wanted you to know that. And also, in the event where you may have some days where you're like, oh my God, just know that you're doing your thing, my brother, and you're inspiring other people because you're inspiring me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm challenged now, or I was challenged to do some things, talking to you, listening to you. The world is my oyster. What's the worst that can happen? So that's what I'm taking out of this conversation. What do you like to do for fun?
I like to play golf. That's my hobby. I haven't been able to participate. One, because I live in New York City and there's not a lot of golf courses in New York City, but I grew up golfing. Also, two, up until this point, I couldn't afford to play no golf. But golf is a sport that I love, and that's definitely a hobby of mine. I love to also eat out, try new restaurants. I did a TV show / YouTube series called Table for One, where I go eat at restaurants that I like, that I want people to know about by myself, because I find joy in going to enjoy a nice meal by myself. Also, just socializing. I'm a social butterfly. I love hanging out with my friends. I love going to the function. I enjoy my downtime. I enjoy a good book and doing nothing, but I also like being in front of people and hanging out and being the life of the party, if you will.
And that's what I was going to ask, because so often people are not taking the time, particularly in this climate, for self care. And I want people to know that they have to practice self care. No is a complete sentence. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you, what do you do for self care? Because you're working, it's a stressful situation. You know, the space that you chose to inhabit, that's, what you're doing. So I wanted to know what your downtime, but you said you like to read, and what other things do you like to do for self-care?
Yeah, do nothing. That's what I like to just do nothing.
Silence.
Silence. I don't need to be doing anything. I like to do nothing. Reading, going to get massages. I love a good massage. Watching my social media intake. I try to keep my screen time down, keep it low. Community with others, with my close friends, engaging with them, inviting. I love hosting as well. I'm grateful. I just moved into my own place, and that's a huge one. I get it from my dad, but I love having people over. I love um, just hosting and sharing my space with others, and I get great joy from that. It energizes me, and um, yeah, those are the main things that I like to do for self care. Turn the phone off. Do not disturb. Just chill and do nothing. Either hang out with my friends. Go play. I want to play more golf this summer. Hopefully, if we get back to season 2, I'm gonna go play golf like every weekend. Every day that I'm off, I'm going to play golf, because it's a respite. It's a time of quiet. I'm in nature, and it's my happy place.
What's your favorite city in New York City?
My favorite like borough. You
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I live in Brooklyn. I enjoy it, but I think Manhattan,
Right, because
because
it's more, has
yeah,
more. Mm-hmm.
because Manhattan, it's like, wow, I'm
Mm-hmm.
in it. This is it, and you just in it. And whenever I go over the bridge, over the Williamsburg Bridge, and you can see the skyline, that's when I get reminded, wow, I'm doing it in New York City. Sometimes I'll play Empire State of Mind.
Mm-hmm.
If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere, and
Anywhere,
it
yeah.
just it just feels so real, or that much more. It is real,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in it, and I'm so grateful that I get to be in it. So anytime I go to the city, go to a restaurant, I love Soho.
Mm-hmm.
I always say I love to be a bachelor in a loft in Soho for a little bit, and then if I decide that New York is home, which again, when I first moved to New York, never would have thought, but if that's the case, I'd love to potentially settle down with family back in Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
in
I
like a
love
Fort
it. I
Wayne.
mean, I tell people I live in Georgia, but my home is New York.
Yeah,
I just love it. My family, there's some that live in Queens and Brooklyn, and this was the first time really when I went back in November that I actually did not go to the city as much, because the minute I get off the plane, I go straight into the city.
yeah,
But I spent majority of my time in Brooklyn, and I mean in Queens, and I just love New York. There's just something about New York. And I tell people, when you're a New Yorker, you can make it anywhere, because if you can survive that concrete jungle, you can make it anywhere. Just like Frank Sinatra and Empire State of Mind. You are so right.
totally. And I tell people all the time, I said, I think everybody should do a year in New York, because it refines you in a way that no other city can. And even further, I think everybody should do a year in New York and then work in either in the service industry or in the retail industry in New
Ooh,
York City.
ooh.
Because if you do that, and you'll just be a better person for it
Yeah.
through and through.
Yeah, and it teaches you survival, and
Totally.
some of us can be a little rude, but it's all about, okay, get to the point. Because even now, I still have to work at that. Like, okay, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, 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 and you finish other people's sentences, and it's rude, but it's just like we want to get to the point. We walk fast, we talk fast, we move fast. That's just how it is. So now, when I'm in Georgia, I let cars go in front of me. So when I get to New York, and if I'm driving, I'll stop, and people are tooting the horn like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
What are you doing?
oh, what are you doing?
Yeah. I have to, whenever I go home, I have to pep talk myself to chill
Yes,
out and
yes.
have patience with my mom, and like, because I do exactly that. I might get on the phone and be like, well, what are we doing? Just tell me what it is. Like, just tell me that. And I get a little quippy,
Yeah,
and I realize, I said, wait, be gracious,
right.
slow to roll, slow to pace. and calm yourself. Take a breath or two,
Mhm.
because it gets in your system. It definitely does.
Mhm. Definitely.
And I
So,
notice it. I notice it a lot when I go back home.
people, how can we support you? Because we know you're a fantastic actor. You're in the Kings of Napa. What else can we do? And the people who are watching, how can they support you?
Watch the Kings of Napa. That's the first thing. Oh, I
Mhm.
mean, watch the show, talk about the show, tell your friends about the show, stream the show, and gas the show heavy. That's the number one thing right now. And then check me out on all my social channels at Rance Nix. Keep in touch. I'll do my best to keep in touch with you. But yeah, I think the number one thing at this very present moment
Just to
on
watch.
February 16th is to watch the Kings of Napa. It's a great show. We put in
Yes.
a lot of really great work, the cast and the crew, and I think you'll also enjoy. So that's the main one.
Yeah, okay, so I want everyone again, watch The Kings of Napa. Please watch it. It's on the own channel. It's a phenomenal show. The acting, I'm telling you, look, I'm not charging y'all. I'm giving y'all some free advice. You're
Yep,
gonna
free
love it.
game.
You're gonna really love it. Let's support because, and here's the thing, we're constantly talking about there aren't any good black shows. Okay, so let me speak to y'all. Okay, you can't have it both ways. You can't say there aren't any black shows and you're not watching it or to support them. And then when they get canceled because we're not watching it, then it's a problem. Okay. So this is a show you need to watch. I'm telling you, it is, it has this comedic relief, which is him. Then it has it's very serious, which is him. Then it has, I'm telling you, you can find someone in your family in that show. That's what I love about this show. There's someone like my brother Chris. I know who he is. The comedic. I can see everyone in that in the cast, and I know who exactly in my family that they are. So again, and again, for those who are watching as well, this is not a black show. It's a black cast, but it's a phenomenal. So I don't want you to think, oh, it's just a black show. No, 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 no. It speaks volumes. It transcends into diversity, meaning that even you can see someone in your family. So I don't want you, if you're not of the melanin complexion. I don't want you to think that, oh, it's a black show. I don't have anything, that I can find in common. I'm telling you, it's about grapes. It's about a winery. Come on now. Once I said that, everybody need to be watching it. So
Yup,
again,
yup, yup.
it's not just a black show. Asian people can watch it. So many people, because again, the topics that they talk about, it makes you think. And I'm going to be honest, when I do look at the screen, of course you see color. It's like, but the words that come out of y'all mouths is be like on point.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I just wanted to, I'm their number one cheerleader. No one's paying me, but y'all know when I find something that I'm passionate about, I'm not playing. I want to share it. Sharing is caring. So that's what I'm doing right now. And again, Jada, please, I need you to go out, share this. So go share the channel. Make sure if you want to, hey, guys, if you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay.
Hey.
So without further ado, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I'm definitely going to reach out again because I love what you're doing. Anything that you're doing, please post it. Let me know, and I'll definitely repost it again because we need to keep you. You're one of our treasures right now. You
Hey.
are family. You're adopted because I have the paperwork right here. Got it right
Hey,
here.
Miss Jacqueline Charles and the Women Are Worthy Network. Thank you so much for having me today on your show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Absolutely. Absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you. It's been a great pleasure as well, because you fulfilled something that I needed right now. And I'm like, yeah,
Yes, right. Ah.
we're signed. So you have a great time. And again, please be safe and make sure you take time for self-care. Please, please, please. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you
Peace.
so much.
You're welcome.